Hi, welcome to Amanda's Kitchen. Today we have Janelle Waugh in our midst, and yes, we are shooting from Janelle's Kitchen here in Beverly Hills, St. Andrew. Janelle,
Right.
what will we be preparing today?
Well, today we're preparing barbecue pig's tail and macaroni casserole.
You got that right, guys. Pig's tail.
Barbecue pig's tail.
Barbecue pig's
Right.
tail. We're used to stew peas, pigtail in stew peas, but today Janelle will be showing us the ropes of preparing barbecue pig's tail. So, Janelle, what will we be starting with?
Okay, so first, we're gonna be starting with the macaroni casserole. What we're gonna do is, just take up a few of them and you just grate them and these. Do you want to try that, Amanda?
Oh, absolutely. Because we can't put these in the pothole.
Of course you can.
And we don't cook our pasta all the way through because it's also going to be baked. So we cook it about 90% of the way and then we finish off in the oven.
Alright, so you can go ahead and...
Alright, so we're just gonna add our pasta to our boiling water. And in our boiling water, we have some salt and some olive oil. And then we're going to allow that to boil to an al dente state.
Right. Then now we're gonna move on to the pig's tail. I'm
Okay.
gonna ask Amanda to pour the pig's tail that I already boiled, to boil out the salt, pour it off. I did that about 3 times. Now we're gonna pressure it. Because it wasn't seasoned, right? I want to pressure it so that all those nice flavor from the seasoning can just seep right through the pig's tail.
Awesome sauce.
Right.
And this is how the pig's tail looks after being scalded. So we're just gonna go ahead and pour that in our pot.
Alright. Then now we are going to add some water to it. Can you just do that? Right.
So we're just gonna give this a stir.
Absolutely.
So while Janelle is preparing the seasonings for our pigtail, we're gonna, once all that is done, we're gonna allow this to pressure for about 15 minutes. That's when the seasonings would have been already marinated and it's quite flavorful and will be ready for our barbecue sauce.
And there's a special ingredient in the barbecue
A
sauce.
special ingredient. What will it be? You'll find out.
Aren't you afraid of how it may taste, or you've had it before?
No, I've had it before. I've had it probably 3 times before, but I'm excited to taste the secret ingredients and see how well that tastes. So I'm expecting big things, Janelle.
Big things?
Yes.
I can feel
So
the
make sure
pressure.
you pull through.
I can feel the pressure, Amanda. I can feel the pressure. I have a lot of friends who aren't willing to try it because, pig's tail salty and how you for barbecue pig's tail.
Yeah.
But then you have some people who are, they're just not adventurous.
Yeah. And some persons are just willing to try everything. And that's good about us Jamaicans. We like to what you call it now? We like to explore different flavors and textures.
Right.
And so many persons, as we said before, are not used to barbecue pig's tail, but it's a real thing. And you should try it.
It's a real thing. You know what else I've done? Curried pork hot.
Oh, yes. I've
Right.
had that too.
Persons don't really do those stuff, brown stew. And I'm just like, there are other things that, like one time, I feel like I'm going to brown stew pig's tail to see how it would be. Probably even
Or
jerk
curried.
it.
Or curried.
Curry, everything can curry.
So guys, we have in here already some onions, some sweet pepper, and some Scotch bonnet pepper. You know, us Jamaicans we have to cook with Scotch bonnet or country pepper. And this is really hot. So we're going in with our scallions, and we have also some garlic that is going to go in with our other seasonings. And Janelle is just on the ball.
Really?
Oh yes.
I can just smell it now. Can you imagine how this is gonna taste so good? Like the best scent when you're cooking is the scent of the seasoning. Like especially when you just simmering it in the pot, sauteing it in the pot, just stand up over it and just smell it. If that don't smell nice, then
The food never tastes nice.
nice.
Well, Janelle, you're right-handed. I'm left-handed, so you know everything got the opposite.
Well,
For me,
did it always depend?
always left-handed.
I did not know that. You know, you learn something new every day.
Every day. All right, so in we have our onions or scallions, country pepper. How many pegs of garlic do we need?
3.
3? All right.
So you were thinking the same way.
Oh, yes. Great cooks think alike.
Right? Right.
So do we need to mince this up or just into?
You can just smash it. Use the back of the knife and smash it.
All right.
I don't know those things.
Of course, I know these things. We're from the
But
country. The Florida people won't know. See, guys, Janelle is from Uptown, JA.
I am not from Upton.
UPT.
I am from rural St. Andrew. Rural St. Andrew.
I'm living in Uptown, St. Andrew. All right, guys. So our seasonings are ready.
All right.
So in our container, we have onions, scallions, garlic, country pepper, and some thyme. And we're just gonna go ahead.
And parsley, don't forget.
And parsley.
Right.
And we're just gonna go ahead and dump that in our pot with our pig's tail. We're just gonna mix that, and then we're going to put on our pressure cooker cover and allow that to pressure for roughly 15 minutes. We have our pasta about 6 minutes in, and we have our pigtail that is on and about to start pressuring. So now Janelle is going to go ahead and make the sauce for the casserole.
Right.
But Janelle, I realized that there's no pot on the stove for the casserole for the sauce. So how does that work? I'm used to making the sauce on the stovetop and then incorporating all the ingredients and in the oven, but I realize that you're not doing that.
No, I am not doing that.
There's absolutely more than one way to do things.
I guess so, because I didn't even know that person's made the sauce on
On
the stove.
stovetop? Okay.
So
she's cracking an egg. So we're gonna use the 2 eggs.
yes, we're using 2 eggs.
All right, so 2 eggs.
All right, just give it a quick whisk. Pour it in.
Oh, so you have your milk in already?
Yeah.
So
And
that's
I poured
about
some milk.
half a cup of milk?
No, probably quarter cup.
Okay, so 1/4 cup of milk and 2 eggs, and we're just gonna whisk that together. I'm really excited to see how this will turn out.
Right. And then after that, I'm gonna add some minced onion and chopped sweet peppers.
Okay. You know, the onions and the sweet pepper just gives your casserole a boost of flavor.
Right. Like onion on a whole just gives anything a boost of good flavor.
Let's give it that oomph.
Then now we're gonna add some breadcrumbs.
All right. Now this bread comes from store-bought, but if you don't have that where you're living, you can use the back of the bread and you can just grate it and you can use that.
So you don't toast your bread before you grate it?
No.
No? Okay. See that? Many ways to do it.
Many ways indeed.
Because I toast mine, get it very crisp,
Mm-hmm.
and then grate it.
Well, that makes a lot of sense.
And then or shred it. And then I'm gonna add some cheese.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
And what kinds of cheese are you using today?
This is Parmesan and mozzarella.
Mm-hmm. So that allows everything to just bind quite nicely.
Right, along with the egg.
Mm-hmm. Right, because the egg is used as a binding agent. And you know, the cheese just helps it to bind even more and gives it that gooiness.
Right, and I'm not going to use all the cheese because we need to spare some for on top.
Right. So that it can be real crunchy, eh?
Right. So this is about a cup of cheese.
Mm-hmm. So we use about a cup of cheese of cheddar, a cup of cheddar cheese, and about a third of a cup of the mozzarella mixed with Parmesan. And now Janelle is just incorporating all the ingredients, and it's coming along quite nicely. As you can also hear in the background, we have our pressure cooker just make some whistling.
Right. You don't want the sauce to be too thick or too light. So at the moment it's a little bit too thick. So I'm gonna go ahead and add a little
some
more
milk. Mm-hmm. Our pressure cooker is off, and right now we're just going to complete our mac salad before it goes into the oven.
Right.
So we have our sauce, which has in egg and our cheese and seasoning, and we're just gonna dump that in our mac and cheese and mix that around, ensuring that all the pasta is coated. And while Janelle is doing that, I'm just gonna pour some oil in our container because we don't want anything sticking too much. We just want to grease our container while Janelle is doing that. Janelle, how long will this be baked for?
This will be baked for about 15 minutes or until the cheese is quite crisp.
And melted, okay.
On top. Right. So I'm just gonna add a little more milk to this, as well as some breadcrumbs.
What's the purpose of the breadcrumbs here?
As well as the egg, it also serves to hold the ingredients together because I didn't cook it on the stove. It doesn't have that thick hold as it would have.
Okay.
Right.
So it's for structure along with the egg.
Right.
Okay.
Both the egg, the cheese, and the breadcrumbs. Well, Amanda, this looking like it needs a little more cheese. Really looking like it needs a little more cheese. So just leave enough to add on top. Right. But first, just gonna dust the pan with some breadcrumbs.
All right.
Right. Before we pour it in.
Dust the corners as well, or just the bottom?
The corners as well.
All right. So we need to get all of that out because we don't want to be wasting the good cheese then. We can't waste the good cheese.
Can't waste it.
Waste of ingredients is a waste of your money.
know, as a child, I used to just save this.
That's the best part of it.
Just save this, and what am I saying as a child? Even though I just save this and
Let me do you the honors.
right. So I'm gonna save this for later.
So our cheese mixture is in.
Right, and now we're gonna
Add the remainder of cheese.
and the remainder of cheese. Just sprinkle it all over it.
If you're a cheese lover, you want to add more cheese, go right ahead.
Can't waste the good cheese. Sprinkle everything. Right. Everything is done.
So our oven is preheated and we're just gonna go right ahead and put this in our oven. You want to wipe your container because you don't want any burnt cheese on your casserole once you're finished. You just want to go ahead and wipe around the sides of your dishes.
Right.
Ensuring that all the cheese or the sauce
And
is
this
off.
makes it easier for you to wash.
Right, clean up.
Right.
So there you have it. Janelle's mac and cheese casserole. In the oven we go. Janelle, since you're tall, I think you should have done this.
I will put the pastille in.
Janelle, how long are we going to bake this for?
We're gonna bake this for about 15 minutes.
All right.
Give or take until you've seen the cheese melt.
Melted.
Right. So hey guys, right? Now we're gonna move on to preparing the pigtail to go into the oven. So first what I'm gonna do is just put a little powdered seasoning onto the pigtail itself.
So Janelle, after you strained off the water,
Oh right.
you ensure that the seasoning is still on.
Right. So I strained off the water and kept the seasoning. So the seasoning and everything is still there and just disposed of the water.
So the sauce will even taste amazing with the seasoning, all the flavors coming together.
Oops. Always ensure that your lids are off. Thank you. Alright.
So what's that?
This is paprika.
For color.
And
Color
taste.
and taste. Cool.
Now we're gonna add something I discovered that makes food really nice, especially meat. Cinnamon powder. Just a tad bit because it can be overpowering sometimes. So just a little sprinkle. Then we're gonna go in with some black pepper. Some cumin seasoning. Just sprinkle that all over. Right. Some barbecue spice.
So Janelle, while we're doing that, in your estimation, what makes a good barbecue?
The sauce.
The sauce.
The sauce.
So do you think it's better to make the sauce from scratch or just get some barbecue sauce and wait?
Well, it all depends on your preference, to be honest, because some barbecue sauces can be very spicy. So if you're not one to really like spice, you're gonna have to like decipher through to see which one is your preference. But personally, I like to make mine from scratch because I just have to have that special ingredient in my barbecue sauce.
Let's see what that special ingredient really is.
Well, we'll be seeing it very shortly.
So Janelle is just mixing all the seasonings with the pigtail to get all the seasoning incorporated in the pigtail.
Right now,
Seasoned to the bone.
Seasoned to the bone, yes. I'm gonna use Maggi cube, seasoning cube. This will be the last thing. Right.
That's not the magic ingredient.
This is not the magic ingredient.
All right.
Of course not.
Jamaicans prepare their food with a lot of seasoning. We have to have the flavors from each ingredient tasting really nice and coming together to make that dish really sumptuous. And that is why a lot of persons really love Jamaican cuisine because of all of the flavors and the spices and the herbs. When you taste that in your mouth, ooh,
Too good to be true.
too good.
So this is what the pixie look like, you know, out of the pressure cooker with all the seasoning and the powder seasoning onto it. I'm gonna now pour this into the Pirates dish.
All right.
You know that can, Amanda.
I'm not seeing any cans here.
Well,
The good old red stripe.
red stripe there. So I'm just gonna open the beer.
Mm-hmm. Mm-mm-mm.
Right?
I just can't wait to taste this.
So about a half a bottle of the beer. We may have to add some more. Personally, while the pigtail is in the oven, I like to go back and just
Sprinkle.
drizzle a little over it just to ensure that that beer taste is in it. So after you add the beer, then we're gonna go with our barbecue sauce. Kraft's barbecue sauce has different flavors. This one is the original, but I would have much preferred to have the smoked.
Since we're doing barbecue, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Participating it too as well. And recently I have discovered guava wine. It's very nice in barbecue sauce. Can never go wrong with wine. Add as much as you please. Some soy sauce.
That gives it a bit of color as well.
Color.
A tip.
So these are pimento seeds. To really get out the flavor out of the pimento seeds, you can crush them and add it to the sauce. But for today, we'll just add them whole. But you really get that flavor out of it when you add them in crushed, right?
Or you can use pimento leaves as well.
Right. Now we're gonna add some of this complete seasoning.
Dried herbs.
Dried herbs, right? This mix has in thyme, salt, rosemary, parsley, onion, garlic. Right. Just give that a quick mix.
So Janelle, you're not going to taste the sauce before?
No, girl.
Hello, in Jamaica, you know, we go so and we go so and we go.
You see, because I know it's good, I don't need to taste it, but I did forget something.
Lime juice.
Barbecue sauce needs to have that little
Zing.
Right? It needs to have that little zing. You know, in Jamaica, we don't really measure things.
Yes. A tubes of this and a tubes of that.
Or you just, you know, until the spirit.
Until the spirit says stop.
Right. So how it tastes, Amanda?
It tastes good. It tastes good.
So just gonna give this a quick stir. Both sides of the pigtail are covered. Everything is just nice.
So do you allow this to stay very long in the oven so that it kind of have that gooey look and taste to it? Or you leave it with a little sauce in it for like gravy or?
I leave it until the sauce gets thick enough to be a gravy.
Okay.
And then after this, I like to cover it with a foil paper for about 10 minutes. And then after that, take it off and leave it again for another 5 or so minutes.
All right. Our pigtail has been covered in foil. I'm just gonna ask Janelle to walk with me over to the oven, but just before Janelle does that, I'm gonna check on the mac and cheese to see how far along it is. So it looks quite good, and the top has already begun to, what's the word, Janelle?
Crispy.
Crispy, yes. But the cheese, yeah, it starts, but it needs probably about 3 to 5 minutes more. So you can go ahead and put in the pigtail.
Right, and we're just gonna leave this for about 10 minutes. Take off the foil, leave it for another 5 minutes.
All right. So our mac and cheese casserole is out, and so is our barbecue pigtail.
Right.
So we're just gonna go ahead and plate. So I'm just gonna go ahead and get a slice. Oh, look at that. Can you hear that? The crunchiness of our mac and cheese. That's good. All right, and we're going down. The texture feels really good. Go, Janelle. Janelle, thank you so much for allowing us in your home and preparing this lovely meal for us.
You're welcome.
Thank you so much for joining Amanda's Kitchen. If you would like to sponsor an episode, please email us at info@iremremontja.com or call us at 876-781-4950. Until next time, walk good and take care.